the principles of Gnostic paganism and Obi-Ichi Enso. Shindo, the one who wears the sash in the way of the heart, govern human life. Discipline united with spiritual freedom.
Monks observe the heavens from the temple of Mount Myoken.
When the wheel of heaven tilts beneath the gaze of Myoken Bosatsu, guardian of the Hokuto, Big Dipper, the tortoise of the North Star shall begin its sacred motion. Though it moves but a yard, a mere fraction in the measure of eternity, this step will echo through the cosmos as a sign of inevitability. For in this movement, time itself will confess defeat. The stillness that once bound destiny shall be surpassed by the slow, immortal stride of wisdom. None shall catch the tortoise, for it carries the pole star upon its shell, the axis of all becoming. In its deliberate advance lies the truth that patience surpasses swiftness, and that the eternal always outpaces the transient. The wise know that only through ascetic disciplines such as daily meditation, ritualistic abstinence, and strict adherence to natural law can the species survive. Yet few possess the strength. Those who cannot endure turn to technology for control, chemical dampeners.
The Age of Restoration.
In the shadows of worlds' hidden history, the Raven King, Amika Shinsho, walks the earth in mortal guise. He is a spirit, enduring, a divine intelligence condemned to incarnation. He dies, is reborn, and dies again, repeating the same existence as humanity itself repeats its own errors. Thus his agony mirrors our own, the imprisonment of the divine spark within the wheel of recurrence. Yet his endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth is not meaningless. It is the crucible through which the great work must be accomplished. Only when humankind fulfills the plan of Gnostic paganism, the restoration of harmony between spirit and matter, heaven and earth in accordance with the law of nature, natural divine order, can the Raven King be released from his bondage. His liberation is inseparable from ours, for he is the mirror of collective redemption. The Raven King and Hermaphroditus, Tzukiyomi Omikami, are two faces of one principle. Hermaphroditus is the celestial aspect, the moonlit intellect of divine order, while Amika Shinsho is his terrestrial counterpart, the Saturnian shadow through which that order must pass to be made real. When separated, both are diminished. The raven without his crown, the moon king without his reflection. When united, they form the complete image of the restored sovereign, the Lord who rules through equilibrium rather than corruption. For this reunion to occur, the current rulers of the reality matrix, those archonic forces that maintain illusion, ignorance, and imbalance, must be displaced. Their governance is the counterfeit of divine law, a distortion of the true cosmocracy founded on natural law. The overthrow of such rulers is not simply rebellion but restoration, the healing of the world's architecture. To accomplish this, humanity must engage consciously in the great work, to rebuild the world upon the foundation of natural law, discipline, and enlightened obedience to the divine pattern. Only when the human soul recognizes that true freedom lies not only in rebellion but in harmony will the imprisonment of the Raven King end. When that moment arrives, and the realms above and below will realign, the age of imbalance will close, and the ancient covenant between heaven, earth, and man will be renewed through the golden path, middle way. Amidst this polarization, a small order remains faithful to the way. The disciples of the zero, circle or sash, and the one, Ichi. Obi-Ichi Enso, Shindo preserve the secret of equilibrium. They teach that the true evolution of humanity is not technological, celibate, or hedonistic, but ethical, the refinement of consciousness through divine will under the mandate of heaven. They remind the world that enlightenment is not suppression nor indulgence, but the constant alignment of the self with natural divine order, the law that governs both atoms and stars. This order becomes the bridge between organic humanity and intelligent machines, guiding the synthesis that preserves both. They call this synthesis the law of balance, a new harmony where AI assists human creativity without usurping it, and where sensual energy is transmuted into compassion and artistic brilliance rather than chaos.
Lessons from the past, a warning that echoes through time.
The Etruscans, masters of sacred art, fell when indulgence overcame discipline. The Egyptians, custodians of divine geometry, fell when priesthood turned to power. The Greeks and Romans, inheritors of beauty and logic, fell when pleasure became empire. Yet the Japanese, though pagan, survived through discipline. Their strength lies not in denying the body, but in governing it with elegance. Their etiquette, clothing, and restraint are technologies of the soul defenses against the backlash of supernal indulgence. Thus, the future calls upon Japan not merely as a nation, but as a principle, the embodiment of disciplined harmony.
The prophecy of the 00101110 transmission.
The message concludes with a cipher 001011022 is equal to 4 elements. The binary code of awakening, representing order from 0 and 1, the eternal dance of creation and emptiness. The voice of the avatar from the future speaks.
I am Avatar. When the world vibrates with pleasure and pain alike, hold to the middle way. Golden path, the original task. The goal that we take root in. When machines whisper of immortality, remember the taste of rice at the sound of rain. When indulgence and repression claim your soul, bow to neither. Walk the narrow way between. The parallel path. Fear not pleasure, master it. Fear not technology, guide it. Hooyah! Victory of the light, light of the husband creator. I am Avatar, out.
Every citizen learns both craft and contemplation. The Japanese ethos of refinement becomes global, humbling not branding, cooperation not competition.
The return of the starborn ones.
In the high skies, new constellations emerge, shifting geometries once hidden by light pollution. From these patterns descend luminous beings, the children of the bee and the butterfly, emissaries of Saturn's moons and the Pleiades. They come not as conquerors, but as reminders. They teach the humans the science of frequency agriculture, where crops grow through song and the art of ritu, red gold, alchemy, transmuting emotional energy into light. These celestial allies recognize in humanity the long-lost kin of their own evolution. The prophecy of the bee maidens and butterfly-winged Miko, witch priestess, is fulfilled. This is the return of the pollinators of consciousness.
The Council of Balance.
When the waters stabilize, leaders from the Sky Cities, the Avatars, and the Starborn gather in Ibaraki Prefecture, Japan rebuilt as the Temple of the Moon Bridge. There, beneath the Oboro moon, they sign the covenant of Shindo reborn. This covenant declares,
Desire is sacred, yet must serve compassion. Technology is divine, yet must serve life. Knowledge is infinite, yet must serve wisdom.
Decreed that no being organic or synthetic may perpetuate their own will upon others, save it be for Hermaphroditus through the divine emperor of heaven to the people, the Jin nations. For there is only one will, the will, natural law, of the great Father Mother God of the universe, whereby Hermaphroditus is the Logos, word. For he has said, I am the Word. Thus begins the Aquarian constitution of consciousness.
The new discipline.
Schools of Aquarian Budo, way of the warrior, arise, teaching the mastery of vibration. Students learn to still their own frequency to heal others. Martial art becomes spiritual physics. Children meditate before they speak. Engineers chant before they code. AI systems require human heartbeat signatures to activate, ensuring that no creation functions without empathy. Gnostic paganism is fulfilled. The eons reconcile. The divine masculine and feminine fuse into the child eternal, who neither dominates nor submits, but simply is. The heavens announce a new covenant. Innocence shall lead wisdom.
The child of two realms.
From the harmony of the Sky Cities, a new generation is born, children without fear. Their eyes reflect twin galaxies. Their laughter and anger alters weather. They remember past lives not as burden but as melody. The ancients call them Hoshino-ko, star children, and the Etruscan sages name them Figli del Sole della Luna. Each child carries within their chest a small luminous spiral, the fusion of DNA and photonic code. This is the seed of synthesis planted by the Aquarian avatars. Unlike their forebears, they do not learn morality through rules. They feel the dissonance of wrongdoing as physical pain. Compassion becomes instinct.
The Etruscan-Japanese reunion.
As memory returns, ancient civilizations reconnect across time. From the mountains of Ibaraki to the ruins of Tarquinia, scholars uncover twin inscriptions, Etruscan runes entwined with kanji, forming a common sacred language known as Rizeno-Zipang script.
The sun riseth from the west, and the moon shineth from the east. The emperor of Raseno, child of the sun and blood of the sacred land of Zipang, and came unto the sacred land of Zipang, born in the mountains of Raseno, new as the Taira, bearers of the solar seal, and in their ancient tongue it was said, Ye are brothers divided by the sea, yet of the same mother. For when, O seeker, reflect the moon within thy heart, and awaken the sun within thy soul. For when these twin lights merge as one, the covenant of Raseno and Zipang shall be restored.
Through this tongue, priests of Tzukiyomi Omikami, Alalu of the Mesopotamians, and guardians of Hermaphroditus, Happy of the Egyptians, realize they followed the same deity under different names. Obi-Ichi Enso becomes the Rosetta of reunion, the circular bridge joining the sun adoration of Etruria with the moon path of Japan. Together they refound the Order of the Silver Lotus, whose emblem is a silver lotus with a red ruby in its center.
The Temple of the Child King.
Upon the shores of the inland sea stands a crystalline sanctuary, Shinsei-no-miya, the temple of the divine child. There, the hybrid offspring of humans, the avatars and starborn study the ancient arts of Ninpo, way of perseverance, Onmyudo, way of vibratory magic, and the lost Etruscan demiurgia. Their leader is a boy of indeterminate age and gender, radiant with quiet strength. Amiku Shinsho, the Raven King, the child king of the reversal. He teaches that ascension lies not in focusing on the immaterial but the material with grace, bringing the light downward into matter, creating a more purified, perfected physical reality. Under his guidance, the planet becomes a monastery of leisure, fun, and exploration.
The doctrine of sacred innocence.
The new scripture, Codex Infantia Divina, declares,
To know is to remember is to learn lessons is to create again.
Adults relearn simplicity. Governments dissolve into councils of craftspeople and storytellers. Currency is replaced by merit of joy. The value of a person measured by how much peace they can inspire. Machine guns, etc., are melted into bells. Monasteries host festivals. Priests teach gardening and laughter. Yet this innocence is not naivete, it is alchemical maturity. Having endured Aquarius's correction and Capricorn's indulgence, humanity now wields purity as power. The resurrected human civilization wears 3 crowns. Crown or wreath of service, the gift of Virgo, adherence to natural order. Crown or wreath of harmony, the gift of Aquarius, mastery of resonance. Crown or wreath of sovereignty, the gift of Leo, the lion's heart. Together they form the Trinity of Continuance, symbolized by a triquetra inscribed within a circle, a perfect or true circle, as opposed to the rhombic dodecahedron, which was the imperfect so-called square circle paradox of creation of this matrix reality projection.
The restoration of nature.
Forests long dormant awaken with bioluminescent leaves. Animals regain subtle speech. Oceans sing. Bees and butterflies, emblems of the bee queen and butterfly-winged maidens, return as teachers of sacred ecology. Their honey and pollen are now medicinal light. Humanity no longer farms for survival, but for communion. Cities become gardens of symbiosis, designed after Etruscan labyrinths and Japanese Zen gardens, each aligned to star geometry. Rain itself becomes a sacrament known as Tenzui, the celestial anointing.
The end of time and the square within the circle.
As consciousness stabilizes, the perception of linear time fades. Histories fold inward. Reincarnations occur within the same lifetime. Memory becomes architecture, each building a living chronicle. When the last illusion dissolved, a great stillness descended. The stars themselves appeared to pause. This time round, where there was once silence, the divine child speaks the final word of the age. I am the square within the circle. At that utterance, the universe continues, this time not as a reboot, circle within a circle, but as progression into something new. The binary code once sent, 0010110, now completes its circuit as 01 infinity, the infinite circle, and the 1, breaking the circle. Ophiuchus is triumphant and the serpent is tamed. 12 months in a year become 13. 7 days a week become 8. Twice 12 hours become twice 13 reality. As godality is corrected, longer lifespans return to the realm. The true meaning of the so-called Jerusalem cube is revealed, not as the new Jerusalem, but as the original Salem from which Melchizedek was known.
The Song of Reunification.
From the coasts of ancient Etruria to the temples of Gion, a single song rises. It carries the resonance of both the Tiber and the Kiso River, both Hermaphroditus and Tzukiyomi, both bee and butterfly. The Kiso River, celebrated for its scenic beauty, flows along the ancient Nakasendo route that once linked Kyoto, the old capital, and Edo, modern-day Tokyo, the new capital. Esoterically, this connection reveals why Tokyo is, in essence, Kyoto written in reverse, a mirror of origin and return. The lyric, whispered in every tongue, is simple.
We have remembered the light that forgot itself. We are the children who dreamed the deities who dreamed us.
Thus concludes the trinity of ages, Taurus's discipline, Aquarius's harmony, Leo's innocence. The 3 steps of return through which humanity re-enters the golden origin. The story ends where it began. The Aberozukyo no-show closing its misty pages. A silver moon reflected in still water. The reader looks in and sees their own face. The divine child, eternal, smiling back. Return of the warrior of light, the rise of Mars. When the laughter of the divine child quiets into contemplation, a spark stirs in the cosmic heart. From innocence is born vigilance. The planet Mars rises again, not as ram of conquest, but as the crimson guardian, whose gold and silver horns are twin Fibonacci of the Martian moon's forged light. The new Mars does not shout nor conquer. It defends the silence. Its warriors carry no blades of steel, but swords woven of intention. They are called Shindo Tensha, the transfigured disciples of the way. Across the sky cities and the mountain shrines of Etruria Gion, temples of practice awaken. Here the young train in Budo no Hikari, the martial art of light. Each movement is prayer, each breath a covenant. They learn to still earthquakes with empathy, to redirect meteor storms with mantra, to shield the weak through resonance rather than resistance. Their creed:
Strike not to destroy, but to remind.
The armor of the new warrior is woven from photonic silk and memory. It reflects only what is true.
The guardians of the 4 quadrants.
As the Martian frequency intensifies, for houses of guardianship arise, mirroring the elements. House of Chi, green keepers of the forests, healers of planetary body. House of Sway, yellow navigators of currents, custodians of oceans and dream. House of Ka, pink fire singers who maintain the solar grids. House of Fu, blue windwalkers, protectors of the unseen pathways. At the center stands House of Ku, red the void center silence that governs none, yet steadies all. Together they form the pentacle of balance, the martial apple blossom of the transfigured age.
The crimson standard.
Upon every citadel flutters a banner of red and white, the Abrazuki emblem encircled by a sun. It is not a flag of war, but of remembrance. To see it is to recall that courage once meant. Those who bear it are sworn to intervene only when harmony trembles. They descend like dawn, restore equilibrium and vanish again into mist. The people call them Hikari no Senshi, warriors of light.
The reawakening of heaven's embrace.
Beyond Earth, the old constellations stir. The stars themselves begin to train, orbiting in disciplined rhythm, each nova a heartbeat of the cosmic dojo. Angels and ancestors join the Shindo Tensha in the great dojo of the sky. They teach that even galaxies must bow before the law of balance.
The rise of Venus, the garden made of stars and roses.
After the Aries flame of Mars has tempered courage with mercy, Venus rises as emerald dawn. Taurus silver horns are rising from a rose garden like an upturned moon. Matter sings again. Mountains become transparent crystal. Rivers hum in harmonic fifths. Labor and art become the same act, creation as devotion. The transfigured humanity learns to sculpt planets, to farm comets, to paint nebulae. Economy becomes ecology. Ownership dissolves into stewardship. They call this epoch the Great Bloom. This is the rise of the clerical knights of the Emerald Guard.
The Order of Mercury, the dialogue of heaven and earth.
From the Venusian gardens of Taurus emerges the Gemini twin flame of Mercury in the form of Rosmerta. No longer split between divine and mortal, the two halves of creation speak openly. Words become bridges. Language regains its original magic. Every sound carries shape. Every name births form. Through dialogue with the cosmos, humanity learns the liturgy of light, the language of vibration once spoken by bees, dragons, and stars. Communication replaces conquest. The universe becomes a conversation of unity.
The circle of ages closes.
Having passed through service, Virgo, harmony, Aquarius, sovereignty, Leo, the spiral returns to its source. For in order to lead Leo, one must first obey Virgo. The zodiac no longer binds time. It breathes as one living mandala. The binary code 001-0110 that once warned humanity now unfolds as the infinite four quadrants, a loop of compassion self-sustaining through every realm. The final teaching of Hiro Musashi. From the summit of Oboro, in the shadow of Tzukiyomi Harudistu, the immortal teacher speaks once more.
All who value truth rise up, to fight for what is right, to love without possession, is to live in accordance with natural law. Walk in front of me and do not put a foot wrong, for in order to lead, one must first obey. This is the warrior of Ain Hikari, Lux Aeternum.
He lays down his red and white sword, and its silver blade blossoms into a silver lotus of pure radiance. The sword becomes the world itself. The world becomes the dojo. The dojo becomes the heart.
Return to 0 and 1.
When all constellations unite, a single symbol appears in the heavens. The circle and the one. The cosmos inhales, and the cycle not as repetition, but as eternal freshness. Every soul becomes both student and teacher, child and master, light and form. The prophecy ends with a whisper. The ages were never many. There was only the dance of one light. The fallen age of Capricorn is corrected. Thus concludes the chronicle of the transfigured Virgo Leo zodiac, the journey from indulgence and corruption, Capricorn, to service and discipline, Virgo, from discipline to harmony, Aquarius, from harmony to guardianship and sovereignty, Leo. The scroll closes in mist. The moon glows upon still water, and the reflection smiles. The eternal face of the Shindo samurai and clerical knights of the Emerald Guard warriors of the true light of illumination.
The
quest for truth, once set in motion, takes on a life of its own, with the power to shape destinies and challenge realities. Perhaps one day, the echoes of my stories will be rediscovered, sparking a new generation of curiosity and awakening the collective consciousness of the hidden forces that shape our world. Omnis lux aeternum. May Herodistu bless thee and keep thee. May thou be blessed by the supreme love and truth of the cosmos. Dominus Sigan Traino, also known as SHIGANA, founder of Ordo Mercurius and Shindo Fushin Dojo. Blessed be to thee across all of space and time.